Let's transition into another topic. This is called long-term care and disability planning. Do you think that if Mary had to go into a nursing home, that John would be able to get her qualified for the government program called Medicaid that pays for our room and board at a nursing home if we have to go in? The answer is no, and that's correct. No, John and Mary have too much money. What's the most a married couple can hold on to and hope to get qualified for Medicaid? Well, you see, between the two of them, they can hold on to about $106,000 worth of cash-type assets and a home. And it can have equity over $500,000. Now, these are 2008 rules. They probably will change over time, but for now, that's what we're going with. So the answer to 35 is no, Mary doesn't qualify. Well, a lot of folks come to us and say, well, we may have too much money, but I think we'll just give all of our money away to our kids, and that way we'll qualify for Medicaid because we'll be broke. Well, can John and Mary give all their assets away if they wanted to? Sure they could. But what problems are connected with that approach? You bet. We got tax issues, we've got the loss of control, obviously, when we give our property away, and we have Medicaid penalties that will really create havoc for us later. How long would it take after John and Mary gave their property away before they could hope to qualify for Medicaid later?
5 years.
I heard 3 years and I heard 5 years. It is now 5 years. The law just got changed from 3 to 5. And we call this 5-year period the 5-year look back. So yes, you can give your assets away, but you better stay the heck out of a nursing home for 5 years because your assets will still be visible if you have to go in before 5 years. And therefore, you will be ineligible for Medicaid. So 38 poses a possible solution. If John and Mary wanted to protect their property from Medicaid long before they needed nursing home care, they would consider a two-step approach. One, they might give their assets away to their children and then have their children turn around and give those assets to a special trust, which is option 10. Which is the Medicaid 5-year look-back trust. Now, this 5-year Medicaid look-back trust is designed to have the kids hold this money in trust for the lifetime of their parents. And then when both parents die, then the assets could be distributed to the kids either outright or in a bulletproof format. But the idea is that the kids would not spend the money that the parents gave them. But the kids could, if this is all designed just right, use the money that the parents gave them to take care of the parents as they go through their lives. Who should explore giving assets to a Medicaid 5-year look-back trust? Well, let's take a look. First, it works if you don't have or don't want to get long-term care insurance. You must be confident that you can stay out of a nursing home for 5 years. Your estate, at least from my perspective, should be somewhere between $50,000 and $1 million for this to make economic sense for you. And you don't do this lightly. You must be highly motivated to protect your assets. And obviously, if you're going to give money away, and you're going to give money away to kids to shelter it, what kind of kids should you have?
Trustworthy.
Real trustworthy kids. I didn't put that down because that's a given. So, all balled up into one chunk here, you can see you can protect your assets if you don't have long-term care insurance. But you've got to act far in advance, and you have to do it correctly with a special trust. So you don't do this lightly, and you don't do it without being highly motivated. Your first line of defense has been for years and will continue to be long-term care insurance. If you haven't investigated it, you're making a probable mistake if your estate is in the $50,000 to $1 million range. I don't sell it, it's your business, but it's something that you should investigate. Long-term care insurance is your first line of defense to losing your property to the high cost, $6,000 to $7,000 a month in nursing home expenses. 40. Here's for veterans only. How many veterans do we have in the audience today? Quite a few. How many are Vietnam? 1. How many are World War II? How many are the Spanish American? No. I heard the last vet from World War I died about a month ago. Last American vet. It's amazing. Well, there are going to be quite a few vets, of course, coming out of the Gulf War. But right now, I want you to be aware that, and we have one female vet, right? Very good. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand. Two women. You're not in a nursing home, and you're not getting home health care, and you're not in assisted living, right? But you may be. So I want you to register this information and tattoo it to the frontal lobe of your brain. You need to be aware that there is a program that you might be able to qualify that will pay for a big part of this type of care. And you don't have to have ever been injured in service. If you have a non-service disability, you can get aid and attendance if you meet a number of fairly easy to qualify for rules. You had to be in the service for at least 90 days, and you had to be in service during wartime for just 1 day. There are certain income and asset requirements as well. But I want you to realize that a married guy or gal who's a vet and needs help can get up to $1,842 a month. And a spouse of a vet can also get benefits for non-service related disabilities. That's all I'm going to say. I just want to bring your awareness level up to the point where you'll know what to look for if the time comes when you need this. 41, if John and Mary had to go into a nursing home now, what strategy could they or their children use to protect approximately 1/2 of their estate?